Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I am Paige Green. I am a registered dietitian with HyVee. I actually spoke last year. It was crazy to think that, that was just last year, but yeah, it was 2019 during the summer. So for those of you maybe rejoining, thanks again. And for those new faces, I hope that you take away lots of different tips and tricks and kind of nutritional advice that I have for you today. But I have been a HyVee registered dietitian for almost 4 years, and I see lots of different disease states, everything from diabetes, weight management, food allergies has definitely been a popular one as of late. But I really do love sharing my expertise on different types of diets, including a Parkinson's one. So today I'm going to talk about the good mood food, eating well with Parkinson's disease. So hopefully you guys stick around, and I will answer questions at the very end. So we'll go ahead and get started. But food for thought, I get asked all the time, what is the best diet for XYZ, for a diabetic, for those who are looking to lose weight, for those of someone who maybe have Parkinson's disease. And fortunately or unfortunately, kind of depending on how you see it, there is no prescription or a specific diet for Parkinson's disease. So really the main takeaway, if you take one thing away from this presentation, is variety, variety, variety. And I can't stress that enough. And really, you'll see this on the screen, and I have it here with me today. I really use this My Plate as a tool. So when we were in school, we learned about the food pyramid, right? The carbohydrates were on the very, very bottom, and it went all the way up to that tiny triangle that included the sweets and oils. Now kids are learning this My Plate, and there's one more imaginary food group up here, as you can see on the slide, dairy. And it just showcases kind of when you sit down at whatever meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can visually see, does your plate look like the My Plate? And it really just shows that, we really want to aim for more color on our plate. Portions are really important. And if anything, try to aim for 3 out of the 5 food groups at every single meal. And I'll kind of show you or tell you why I really am a big advocate for that in a little bit. But that healthy and balanced mindset, it will really help with that maintaining that healthy weight. So again, no specific combination of foods have been shown to slow the progression, but just trying to make sure that you keep more variety in the back of your mind. And we're going to really hone in on these fruits and vegetables food groups in here in a little bit too, but that can really help our energy levels, help kind of ease some of those symptoms too. So we'll go ahead and chat more about that in a second, but kind of some nutritional tips for memory fitness. So again, balanced eating is really the name of the game for really just general overall health, but again, for Parkinson's disease, especially just to kind of help with some of those symptoms. And again, that brain health. So some of those foods that really hone in on the brain health are fats, and especially those heart healthy omega-3 fatty acids. You may have heard of them. That once upon a time, fat was super, super feared. And again, it's just making sure that we're selecting those correct types of fats. So those heart healthy omega-3 fats. So a lot of times people will think of fish. And if you're not eating fish every single week, I encourage you to do so at least twice a week. And if not, there's lots of different supplements on the market, fish oil or an omega-3 supplement. And I really encourage about 1,000 milligrams of an omega-3 every single day if you don't feel like you're getting enough fish or seafood into your diet plan. As you can see behind me, I brought a lot of different foods just to kind of highlight and showcase to you today. So kind of throughout the presentation, I'll be picking and choosing. But as you can see here, sometimes the seafood counter can be a little intimidating, or you're just not sure what to select. So go into the middle aisles, canned tuna. It's awesome. It's great. They're actually making different types of tuna that are already using some different seasonings in here. They even have pouched salmon. I'm sorry for the glare. But these are really convenient too, that you can, I like to mix mine with hummus or actually guacamole, or mayo's fine too, but give it a little stir. You can put it in a nice, pita pocket over a couple slices of bread, or top it on a couple or a big bed of salad greens too for a really heart healthy lunch. And these guys are fairly new. If you guys have never seen these are infused tuna cups. They're really great. They're even portable. They have a spork inside, so that's kind of fun. But this is a really good source of omega-3s, 20 grams of protein in this little guy. They come in 5 different flavors. But if you feel like cooking is maybe a struggle for you, you're just not really sure what to cook, or don't like to even be in the kitchen, tuna's a really, really easy lunch or dinner idea as well. So, I mentioned a pita pocket, but I love putting them on wraps as well. So these mission carb conscious or carb balance tortillas are really great as well. We're going to talk about fiber here in a little bit, and these guys are a really good source of fiber. So just another option that you could throw your tuna right onto. Kind of a different type of, getting past seafood or tuna in general, some different types of healthy fats that contain those omega-3 fatty acids are going to be your chia seeds, flax seeds, or walnuts. Maybe these words have, you've heard of them, you've seen them in different things, or maybe in the menu at places. But chia seeds, flax seeds, those are really, really great, simple to add to smoothies, to oatmeal. I love adding them to yogurt as well. They don't change the flavor of foods. If it sits out too long, you'll notice the texture kind of start to get a little bit thicker. But again, it's just a really easy add, and they're really great in regards to omega-3s, and actually a plant-based calcium source too. So good for the bone health as well. So moving right along, the middle bullet there, veggies. Again, back to this My Plate. The goal is to eat half our plate full of fruits and or vegetables every single day. So a lot of times people are like, well, what's the recommendation? Well, it's 5 servings. And if you currently only do 1, or maybe you don't do any, I don't want you to start doing 5 tomorrow. I mean, you might want to try, but again, try to be realistic with yourself and see where you can add a fruit or vegetable into your day. Maybe it's, hey, starting tomorrow, I'm going to really, really hone in on including a vegetable at every single lunch. In a little bit, I'm going to show you different ways or easy ways to add that. But the really good health benefits of fruits and vegetables are those antioxidant properties. Each color represents a different antioxidant, which helps in turn kind of fight off those free radicals and helps with inflammation, again, with heart health, brain health. So a lot of good research backing those up. Plus, they're full of water and fiber, and we want to keep everything moving right along in our system. So including some fruits and vegetables at every meal is, really the goal. But again, if you're currently doing maybe 1 or 2 servings every single day, try adding 1 more and working your way up to that 5 a day. And then last point there, just practice moderation. You probably always have heard, everything in moderation, and it is true. Just like excess salt and sugar are bad for our bodies, eating too much of something can be really harmful for our brains. Plus, with too much sugar, that can lead to just us feeling tired, sluggish. It just weighs us down. Sometimes brain fog can occur too. So really hone in and think, gosh, my energy levels are just really, really, really low. Maybe it's we're not eating enough of the color and maybe too much of the sugar. And in a little bit, we'll kind of chat about different ways to swap out some of those sweet cravings too. So again, here's kind of the 5 a day. Just really want to make sure that I'm hitting this point across, that we really do need to make sure that we're getting in enough fruits and vegetables every single day. So 3 servings of vegetables look like 1 cup of raw or cooked, a cup of 100% vegetable juice. So I have a lot of clients who will have a VA alongside their breakfast in the morning, and that's definitely very doable. And then 2 cups of leafy greens. And then for fruit, what a serving looks like for that: a cup of fresh or frozen, a cup of 100% fruit juice, and a half cup dried fruit. Now, I will say I'm not a big advocate of fruit juice because I really do believe that getting the fruit and the fiber from the whole fruit itself is going to be a little bit better. So kind of just try to aim for more of the actual whole fruit than the juice form. For those of you who haven't been over to the frozen foods department, I encourage you to do so. I know it's getting chilly outside, so brave the cold and kind of peek open those doors, because there are a lot of new products over there. At the location that I'm at, we have actually 7 doors full of frozen vegetable products, and it's awesome. I will say in our household, 95% of our vegetables that we purchase come from the frozen foods department. So just as nutritious as the fresh. It's going to help you if you can't get to a whole head of broccoli quickly. You know, then you don't have to toss it out, and that will, you know, essentially cost you more money. So some different ones, and maybe you guys have tried some of these products. They have been around, I guess, for a couple years now. They used to be new, so this slide is a little old, but riced vegetables. So up there, you'll see those riced cauliflower or rice sweet potatoes. Those are really easy, and I love these because we just toss these in our chili or different soups. You really can't tell that they're in there. It's just boosting up that veggie consumption a little bit more. They're also great because you can steam those right in the bag, so they're an easy add to any dinner. Right there in the middle, those oven roasters. If you've never tried these, I encourage you to do so. These are awesome. There's like 4 different flavors. This one showcased is the broccoli and cauliflower. We just did the sweet potato carrot a couple of weeks ago, and that was really good. But you just get out a big baking sheet. They're already seasoned. They're already cut up for you. And you bake them for 18 minutes, and you've got a really nice roasted vegetable that you can, again, add alongside any dinner idea that you're doing. The Dole salad kits, I will say a lot of different brands have come out with these guys. But that's an easy add to any meal as well. Having a side salad, I always encourage, you know, trying to maybe get another bag of, whether it's like a spinach or kale, and kind of bulking this salad kit up. I take these a lot for lunches too. So again, easy to add on tuna to these guys, or you could do rotisserie chicken on top. Chickpeas are another really good source of protein too, but that's an easy add to any salad. Over there too, you'll see veggie tots. That's right. So just like potatoes, but instead of the actual potato, they're actually replacing it with broccoli. They have broccoli and cauliflower. There's a sweet potato one, and we make a veggie tot casserole out of these guys. And again, they're just an easy add to really any dishes that you're doing. A little bit more fiber found in these guys too. So again, frozen is going to be a really good place to kind of hit up when you're trying to increase your veggie consumption. All right, so we did want to kind of hit again on that sugar. So I always just encourage people to kind of go through their general day, a typical day of eating, and really just kind of start saying, you know, I'm going to look at food labels. I'm going to see how much added sugar is found in different things. And you might be surprised on how much sugar you're actually consuming without you even realizing it, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are eating too much sugar. The average American actually eats 22 teaspoons every single day. So if you can envision a half a teaspoon, or excuse me, a half a cup of sugar, that's 22 teaspoons. So it's way too much. The American Heart Association actually recommends no more than 9 teaspoons of added sugar for men a day, and no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar for women. So when I say added sugar, I'm not talking about the natural sugar that's coming from fruit, because right, fruit is naturally sweet. And then dairies are our other food group that's going to actually already have that natural sugar found in there. So that 9 teaspoons for men and 6 teaspoons for women, that's just the added sugar. So here are some just different tips and tricks that you can just to kind of see, how can I reduce my overall sugar content? And I will say that our sweetened beverages, that's going to be the main culprit where we're finding a lot of those sugar or the sugary types of drinks or food. So sodas, energy drinks, sweetened teas, coffee shops. You can't go past a Starbucks without seeing a line out the door at all hours of the day. So it's crazy to see how much sugar is found in some of these drinks, but lots of different substitutions. If you're not a big water drinker, I really do encourage maybe doing a carbonated flavor water, bubbly, LaCroix, Zevia, Bai. Those are all different types of sparkling or flavored waters. Even just taking a lemon or a lime and squeezing that into some water can just really help awaken it and not have it be so bland. But I really do encourage trying to drink more water in your day, and we'll talk about kind of the water goal later on. But if you're currently doing a soda or doing several sodas a day, again, going cold turkey, sometimes that works for people, but I'm a big advocate on kind of the forming those healthier habits. So maybe you're doing 6 cans of regular soda. Maybe tomorrow we start doing 4, and next week we'll do 3, and kind of work your way down and trying to increase that water intake. Again, just talking about the coffees here, a caramel macchiato from Starbucks. Check that out, 33 grams of sugar, and that's just in the grande. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more than that 9 or 6 teaspoons of added sugar every single day. And that's just a beverage that you're drinking. That might not be the scone or whatever you're putting alongside with it. Halloween, right? That just came and went. And I don't know about you, still have a bucket of candy at our house. But the great thing about Halloween candy is they are fun sized, right? Even though some people are saying, well, there's nothing fun sized about fun sized candy bars. But it does. It keeps them in portion, but it's when we have too much of it. And I will say, if you can't have the sweets in the house because you know you're going to eat them, maybe it's not purchasing them and you're just going out for those types of treats every now and then. But a really good way just to replace some of that candy is maybe with, making your own trail mix. Maybe it's mixed nuts with dried fruit. I do lots of different cereals, so whether it's Cheerios or Kix, those are all great options. This is probably one of my favorite products. They are cocoa dusted almonds. You can have 1/4 of a cup of these, no added sugar, but it gives you that cocoa or that chocolate fix that you're looking for. And again, a really easy add to any homemade trail mix, or just eat them alone, or pair it with a piece of fruit too. So those are found in the nut aisle. And then these guys are just another option too when you're wanting maybe like a candy bar, Snicker bar or something. Again, it's a HyVee brand, but a lot of times people don't really like when I suggest, maybe a Health Market granola bar because they're a little bit pricier. These are really, really reasonably priced. A good source of fiber and protein, and the sugar content super, super low. But again, you get a little bit of chocolate in there too. So those are found in the regular aisle as well. Sometimes we think that maybe sauces or condiments, salad dressings, those are all going to be fair game, right? Wrong. If you feel like, or if you've never looked at the back of a food label on one of those guys, definitely check it out. It's eye-opening to see how much sugar is packed inside of barbecue sauces, even tomato sauces. It's like, why are you adding so much sugar to those products? So a lot of companies have gotten smart because we have become a little bit more health conscious, and they're making a lot of products that don't have so much added sugar. So try out some maybe hummus or guacamole. Herbs and spices can really flavor dishes, without all the added sugar as well. So keep those in mind too. Sugary cereals. Again, something that a lot of people wake up and you pour, very easy, very convenient, but I promise you oatmeal takes just as much time as cereal. And again, I'm going to show you a really easy, convenient product. This one actually is sweetened with a little bit of maple and brown sugar, but the sugar content's still significantly low. You add it with a little bit of milk or water, pop it in the microwave for 30 to 45 seconds. And you've got a really, really easy breakfast idea that's going to be filling. And again, not have so much of the sugar crash later on. I always truly believe that you start your day off with what you have for breakfast, and that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. And then just number 7, I really wanted to shout out, because people always ask me about, you know, ketchup, mustard, things like that. And I know we're kind of getting out of the barbecue grilling season, but a good swap for ketchup is salsa. So 7 grams of sugar in ketchup versus 1.5 grams in 2 tablespoons of salsa. So that's a really, really easy swap, something that is still really tasty on burgers, on eggs, but again, keeping that sugar content low. So, like mentioned, if you're not checking out the food labels with different products or drinks that you are currently consuming, I really, really strongly encourage you to do so. More just to see what are you putting in your body. And up here on the screen, I have an old label and a new label. And what I mean by old is a lot of products have already made the swap to this new label by January 2021. I feel like I've been talking about this change for years now, but come here in a few months, all companies have to make the swap to this new label. So what you can see is the calories are huge, right? Bolded, that's where your eyes went first. But I always tell people to check out the serving size and see what exactly is a serving of this particular food. I'm not sure what this food label is, but you can see, sorry, my face is in front of it. The serving size on this particular nutritional facts is 1/2 cup. So the other big thing that I want to just point out is from the old label to the new label is it lists total sugars, and then underneath it, it has added sugars. So again, that natural sugar found in fruit and dairy does not count towards your total of 9 teaspoons and 6 teaspoons. So this is really helpful for whether this be a granola bar or maybe it is some oatmeal that has some like dried fruit in it. It only has 8 grams of added sugar. So I keep saying teaspoons and the food label shows up as grams. So the magical number to divide by to get the grams from a food label converted is 4. So 8 grams divided by 4 is 2 teaspoons of added sugar towards your 6 teaspoons for women and your 9 teaspoons for men. So I hope that makes sense, and definitely ask questions later on if it doesn't. So this is just a slide. I feel like a lot of people just have questions about different snacks. Again, we talked about fruits and vegetables early on, and really trying to encourage more of those on your plate at meals. But if you feel like you can't get a fruit or a vegetable at your meal, I really encourage you to think about what you're doing for a snack. So these are really a lot of really great ideas. I mentioned the hummus and the carrots earlier on, but it could be as simple as peanut butter and an apple. Again, nuts and citrus is really in season at this time. Whole grain crackers. And I want to highlight a couple of my favorite ones. So Triscuit crackers or wheat thins make really, really great options for snacks or alongside a lunch option in place of chips. Because again, chips just really are just air, salts, and fat. And these guys are made with whole grains. So that's going to pack in a lot of different nutrients there, fiber being one of them, and protein, a little bit of protein too. So keeping this alongside maybe a cheese stick or pairing it with a piece of fruit, these are going to make really great options. Triscuits has a lot of different flavors out there, and the wheat thins have kind of followed suit and having a lot of different flavors too with those. Another chip option, these have been really popular in my house. I have a 1-year-old, and so we're always experimenting with new foods. But those veggie straws that are out on the market, unfortunately, hate to break it to you, don't include vegetables. But these guys, which are called Harvest Snacks, are either made with lentils or black beans as their number one ingredient, but you can't taste them. They come in a lot of different flavors. They have everything from a lightly salted, there's a white cheddar, there's a Caesar. This tomato basil is a really, really good one of my favorites. But you can have 24 of them. And you can have, it'll give you 3 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein. And again, they are made from veggies versus the actual veggie straws. So give these a shot. They're really, really, really good. Lara bars. Making sure I get to all my goodies back here. Lara bars make a really, really great snack as well. Again, when I say protein plus carbs equals a smart snack, that just provides you again with that fiber filling nutrient there, keeps us regular. And then again, that protein kind of keeps us feeling fuller longer. So these are going to be really great options. And if you've never heard of an RX bar, they're very simple ingredients, but again, just very nutrient rich and a really great option for a snack if you're looking for something quick and wanting something on the go as well. So I did just want to talk about maybe some different dietary changes that you might have to do to help kind of ease some of those Parkinson's disease symptoms. So I've heard it a lot, people will have a loss of appetite. This may make them lose weight and have kind of more of that weakened immune system. So some tips and ways to kind of come around or get around that loss of appetite is really trying to encourage the small, more frequent meals. So I'm a big advocate for breakfast, but again, trying to fit in a large amount right away in the morning might lead to not be wanting to eat later on. So maybe it's something small and then a few hours later you eat something again and keep that trend going. So every 2 to 3 hours you're eating something. Trying more spicy food can really help stimulate our appetite too. So cayenne pepper, more of a hot sauce or a hot salsa might kind of help you want to stimulate more of that appetite too. And then people with maybe that loss of appetite or that nausea, kind of pairing some of those carbohydrates with some healthy fats, whether it be nuts, nut butter, avocados. Those are going to all be some helpful tips just to kind of encourage more of that regular eating as well. I do want to just recommend that sometimes we get in that rut where we're kind of stagnant, we're sedentary all day long, and make sure you're getting up, you're staying active. I know it's getting colder outside, so when I say walk around the block, that sounds less and less appealing at this time, but even if it's getting up during commercial breaks, standing up, sitting back down, having some dumbbells maybe by your chair and doing that every commercial break, just something to kind of keep your bones and your body moving, because I really do believe that, if we become stagnant, then the less that we use our body and the more we just ache later. So keep moving. That's going to be really, really important. If you experience difficulty swallowing, maybe due to tremor or stiffness, maybe it's looking more for the softer foods. So anything from bananas, yogurt. I love Greek yogurt as a snack. The Greek yogurt does have twice as much protein as regular yogurt, so that will kind of give you more bang for your buck too. Soften some meats with gravy, and then again encouraging more of those vegetables and doing them in the microwave. That's going to all promote the soft foods, but still kind of eating more of a nutritional diet. Did someone say milkshakes? So I did include that, but when people we talk about milkshakes or ice cream dishes, I always just say, something that tastes just as good as a milkshake is a smoothie, but you can make it more nutritional by, doing frozen fruit. Again, whether it's putting chia seeds in there, you could do yogurt or regular milk, almond milk, but blend it all together and you get a lot of great nutrition coming from that. And again, it's just a softer, more palatable food for you. More bland foods are going to really help with that nausea. So toast, rice, eggs. That's a big one, very easy to whip together as well. Chicken, potatoes. My go-to is taking a regular potato or a sweet potato, poking it with a knife or a fork, pop it in the microwave for about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the size of it. And it's a really, really easy way to add a side along to dinner, or my go-to in college was then popping some peanut butter on top of the sweet potato with a little bit of cinnamon. And that was a really great breakfast idea too. If you have fatigue, this is just, I laugh because a lot of times I get this question where, I just am so tired. Is there a pill that I can take? And I always just come back to, are we drinking enough water and are we eating enough produce? So really think more color. Again, those antioxidants, those are going to be really important just to kind of help release some of those vitamins that help with energy. And again, just kind of keep us from not having too much sugar in our diet as well, because we'll fill up more on those and less on the sugary types of foods later on. And then don't skip meals. Again, if it's 10 o'clock and you haven't had anything, you might be hungry and you might feel tired because you just haven't nourished your body with anything yet. So really strive to keep eating every 3 to 4 hours. Snacks are important. And again, trying to encourage more of a fruit or a vegetable alongside that snack can help with the energy as well. In regards to bone thinning, it's part of aging, but really kind of think calcium, magnesium, vitamins D and K. Those are going to be all bone forming nutrients that we need. Again, back to chia seeds. They're a great source of omega-3s. They're great for fiber, but they're also a really great plant-based source of calcium as well. So keep this in mind. Again, it's something easy to add to anything. I even will sprinkle these on salad. So whatever you're currently eating, 2 tablespoons a day is kind of the recommendation. But you get 10 grams of fiber out of the deal too. So this is a really good source of calcium as well. Again, the strong bones is just going to be really, really important for people living with Parkinson's disease, just to help them prevent those fractures if a fall were to happen later on. And then again, walking and other weight-bearing exercises to keep bones strong. So that's going to be important. If you can get out and about, great. But we don't have a treadmill in here, but I sometimes will just walk up and down my steps. Again, just to stimulate some activity. Sometimes I sit too long at my desk during the day, so it's nice just to get up and moving. Another really big one that you might want to kind of think about if you have constipation, fiber, again, is going to be really important for that, as well as water. So fiber is going to be found in your whole grains, your produce, and your beans. So that can really help promote that regularity as well. Just a few more products to hone in on since we're talking about fiber. These fly off the shelf, these Thomas English muffins, and I really like these light ones because they actually add in fiber. They actually have 8 grams of fiber per muffin. So just to give you a kind of a background, men, we need 38 grams of fiber every day. Women, we're striving for 25. So you find 8 in one of these, and this is great. Toasted in the morning, spread a little bit of peanut butter and have a banana. A really quick breakfast idea. It takes no time at all. But again, you get a lot of different food groups, a balanced plate, and it kind of will help promote everything to keep moving right along. Pasta. Again, pasta should not be feared. All my carb haters. I really do promote the whole grain. It's an easy supper idea. Something simple too, to add a veggie alongside with it, or a side salad. Again, it's just coming back to, how much are we filling our plate up with? Does the grain or the spaghetti take up the entire plate, or is it taking up a quadrant of it, and then you're adding some sides along with it? So these are awesome. Since we're talking about pasta, Barilla recently came out with, again, sorry, I'm making sure that the glare is not there. This is a chickpea pasta. So yes, it is made from chickpea flour, and that is it. I always tell people it takes maybe just a little bit longer to cook down, but you can't even taste that it's chickpeas. Great source of fiber, great source of protein, and just a different alternative to your pasta dishes as well. Right. Oh, here's my product. Another really easy idea or an easy side dish, again, it doesn't take long to cook in the microwave, or you won't have to stay in your kitchen for very long, are these Uncle Ben's. You just tear it halfway open, pop it in the microwave for 90 seconds. This is the whole grain brand. And again, it's great with stir fries, a great side along, a piece of chicken breast or a lean piece of red meat. But this is a really easy add to any meal. And again, it takes no time at all, right in the microwave. So there is that recommendation for women and men for fiber. Only 3% of the population actually consumes enough fiber every single day. So just like when you're looking at your sugar contents, maybe on the packages of foods or drinks that you're eating, maybe check out how much fiber is in those products too. You might be alarmed to see that some of them may contain, less than 1 gram. Maybe you'd be shocked to see how much fiber is actually in something, but lots of really great benefits to go with fiber. And there on your screen, you can see that the high fibrous foods are going to be found in your fruits, your veggies, your whole grains, and your beans. Water. Sometimes the medications that we're taking with Parkinson's disease cause us to be dehydrated. So if you don't carry a water bottle around with you, or you're not really great with drinking water, maybe thinking about carrying a water bottle with you is going to be really important. A good rule of thumb when people ask, how much water they should be drinking, if you just take your weight and divide it by 2, that's how much in water, or that's how many ounces in water you should be drinking every single day. So for example, a 150-pound person should be drinking 75 ounces or roughly 9 cups of water. So again, if you feel like your energy levels have tanked, maybe you get headaches, thinking of including more water is going to be really important too. I will say that, again, the produce is going to be high in that water content. So some high water content produce, your fruits include your grapefruits, your berries, watermelon, obviously is going to be containing a lot of water. And then your veggies such as celery, spinach, and even squash actually has a good source of water as well. So again, back to that very first slide, there is no prescription or no particular diet to follow when we're thinking of Parkinson's disease. I did look into some other diets just to kind of see, what is, some of these bad diets that are out there for different types of maybe concerns that people are looking at, whether it's weight loss or, celiac disease, the gluten-free diet, you've got to follow for that. So they have been tested. And currently there's no, like I said, recommendation for a specific diet, which I think is even better because it just really hones in on making sure that we're including all the food groups. We're not excluding anything. We're just keeping check of sugar and really boosting up that water content as well. Many people may have heard of this MIND diet. And again, it just kind of comes back to this way of eating. It's encouraging the seafood. It's encouraging your produce. Again, the whole grains are going to be really, really important as well. So if you've heard of the MIND diet, it's kind of what we just talked about with the My Plate as well. So lots of good research when it comes to back up kind of those antioxidants and whole grains that we're finding in all our food groups. And lastly, I just want to kind of share with you, because this is probably one of the most common questions I get is, can you provide me a meal plan? And I will say that, meal planning, it's kind of one of those things where it can be as easy or as difficult as you make it. It's just what works best for you may not work best for me, and vice versa. So when it comes down to it, we have to plan our meals, a lot. So 3 meals a day, that equals 21 meals every week. That's over 1,000 meals every single year. So don't make it difficult on yourself. I always say carve out about 15 minutes a week, hone in maybe on supper time, select 3 to 4 different dinner ideas, use those as leftovers for lunch the next day, and really just plan for those leftovers. If you find a recipe that's really easy, it tastes great for the whole family, save it, keep it, kind of come back to it when you are kind of in a recipe rut. But those are kind of some good takeaways there. Browsing the ad, kind of shopping that sale, planning your meals around that. That can help you in your meal planning as well. So I hope that I didn't go over time. I will be answering questions here in a little bit. So hopefully you have some for me. I've been lucky enough to come back this year. I know not in person, but we'll make do with virtually as well. So I will see you in a little bit to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks so much for listening, guys.
Hi, Paige. Thank you so much.
Let me unmute. Hi there.
There we go. You know, when I started earlier today, I forgot to unmute myself also. So these new virtual world we're living in.
I know, right? There's so many buttons and making sure that it all looks good. And yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I know that nutrition and Parkinson's is such a popular subject, and it's really hard to find somebody who knows as much as you do. So we appreciate having you so much.
Well, thank you. No, it's fun.
Yes.
And like I said, a little different than I love having a crowd in front of me, but I just had to pretend that someone was watching me while I did it.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, so we do have some questions that, well, they've been rolling in. So there's lots of questions for you. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Let's see here. So we have this first question. What are some energy boosting foods? I really struggle with fatigue.
Sure. And hopefully from the presentation, you kind of just gathered that I'm a big advocate on that whole food with the produce, both in the fruits and in the vegetables. So again, a lot of times people will look for a supplement that kind of helps with their fatigue. But I promise you that the whole food source, whether it is, fresh or going into that frozen department and getting them frozen and put them in a smoothie or topping them on oatmeal, can really help drive your energy levels up just with the different vitamins, minerals, and then again, that water content that you're seeing in those produce items are going to really help with fatigue.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So let's see here. How many grams of protein should a person have a day?
That's a great question. And it's kind of when it comes down to, I get asked that, how many calories should I have? So that looks for every single person. So to tell someone, over, the computer here that you need X, Y, amount of protein, you got to really look at your body size, if you're male or female, your exercise level, or, how much you exercise in a day. So if you want, go ahead and email and I can send you an exact amount, but I just don't want to give a recommendation over the computer. But use that email address, pgreen@hyvee.com, and I'd be happy to help.
Perfect. Yes. And that email address is on your local chapter's website. So anyone can hop on there and send her any questions. Okay, yes. Let's go on to the next one. My sense of smell and taste have diminished due to Parkinson's. How can I make food more appetizing?
Yeah, great question. I feel like that's a struggle for a lot of people. So, meals aren't going to maybe even sound good or seem good. So I always suggest spicy foods, and maybe that was something that you didn't even enjoy prior to that loss of taste or smell, but maybe that's going to be enough to stimulate your taste buds a little bit more. Sometimes people would rather eat hot food than cold food, but vice versa as well. So kind of play with it in the kitchen, and Like I said, maybe it's cayenne pepper, or you're adding a little bit of mint, or even lemon juice can just really awaken some of those taste buds up. And then again, just kind of trial and error with hot versus cold food.
Okay, so try things that you wouldn't have necessarily tried before.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay, do you have any tips for weight management with Parkinson's if I'm losing weight without meaning to?
Yep, another common symptom or common problem that people might experience.
Mhm.
I always say, don't think of meals as being so overwhelming. They can be mini meals. And when I say meal, think two food groups. So a carbohydrate and a protein, or if you're taking a medication, maybe it's some crackers and a piece of fruit. And like every 2 to 3 hours, and kind of having more mini meals more often. That way you're not, overdoing it at one meal and then not really hungry the rest of the day. So smaller, more frequent meals kind of throughout.
Okay. I feel like all of these are pretty wonderful dietary tips for Parkinson's and in general. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I love that. Okay. Are there any dietary or herbal supplements that are recommended for Parkinson's patients?
Yeah. So like mentioned, I did this presentation a year ago this past summer. And I just, did a little bit more research before this one, just to see if there was any other or new guidelines out there. Currently, there's nothing yet. There's some that are being tested right now, but nothing that's going to say, it slows the progression. You may have heard of coenzyme Q. That's an antioxidant that's been tested, but again, hasn't been shown any proven results. Creatine's another one that's being looked at, that gives energy to our muscles and to our brain. And then turmeric, which actually has been shown to help with anti-inflammatory. That's also been, it's not a bad thing to add in. It's just, it doesn't show any, it doesn't slow it, but it's good for anti-inflammatory. So it's great for anyone. So it might not be a bad thing just to add into our dishes, and a little goes a long way. I sometimes add it to a smoothie. I can't taste it, but it's just in there. So that could be a way to use that spice.
Awesome. Okay. This is great information. Okay. Let's see. With protein using the same receptors as levodopa medication, should snacks not include protein?
Yeah, so I've heard from different doctors and read different things. So definitely talk with them. Sometimes I've heard, they'll say wait 30 minutes before, 50 minutes after to have that protein. So definitely chat it over with them, but you might want to wait. That way you're just making sure that you're getting that full medication absorbed in your small intestine.
Okay. Let's see here. Is there a difference between protein from meat and protein from plant when it comes to absorption between like interference in the gut for a levodopa to get through blood-brain barrier?
Sure. Well, considering that it's going to be a good source of protein, same concept there is just kind of maybe just waiting, whether it is that plant source or coming from meat itself, waiting before or 60 minutes after a meal to take that medication. So again, talk it over with your doctor, but protein is protein. And so it's going to recognize it as the same in your body.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. We have another question coming in. It says, you mentioned eating fish twice a week. Does that include shrimp, clam, or just things like tuna and salmon? And why should we eat it so often?
Sure. So that's a really great question, because I oftentimes get that as well. So it's those omega-3 fatty acids that we're really, really striving for. So those higher fatty types of fish, shrimp contains less omega-3s than salmon, for instance. So I really recommend the fattier types of omega-3 types of fish. It's still okay to enjoy, but just know that I'm really, pushing for those higher omega-3s. Again, good for inflammation, good for our heart, good for our brain as well. So if you feel like you're not getting enough omega-3s, that's when maybe a supplementation might be necessary.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. Here's a question. I also have type 2 diabetes. Does this change how I should eat for my Parkinson's?
That's a wonderful question. And honestly, I use that my plate that I did in my presentation for weight loss, for diabetes. It all comes down to portion sizes, and that my plate's a really good reminder and a good tool to showcase, hey, I can have carbohydrates, but I need to have it in this quantity versus spaghetti taking up my entire plate, including fruits, including vegetables, having lean sources of protein. So kind of that my plate that I talked about for Parkinson's is a great tool for diabetes as well. So I would use that kind of in conjunction with the two.
Okay. All right, perfect. Let's see here. I just don't like the taste of vegetables. I really never have. Do you have any tips on that? I mean, I'm in the same boat as this person.
Yes. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that. No,
Yeah.
I will say that, I mean, I know that, with COVID, it's hard to go out to places right now, but I always tell people to experiment with vegetables when other people are making them, because maybe eating a raw piece of broccoli or cauliflower isn't that great. But roasting vegetables can really highlight different flavors. So again, those frozen doors in the grocery store have a lot of different products that you can steam and roast vegetables that change the flavor. And again, there's so much you can do with herbs and spices that, a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper can go a long way. Again, if you still are curious, I have hundreds of recipes that if you're like, I need vegetable ideas, send me an email. I'd be happy to help you. But I really am a big advocate that, vegetables are really, really important for all diets, but especially Parkinson's, just for, again, our energy levels. We want to make sure that we're getting those antioxidants and those vitamins and minerals too. So I really, really hope that there's a dish you can find that you like and you can keep incorporating that into your diet.
Okay, perfect. Well, actually, playing off of that one, I tend to kind of play around and try to find different ways to sneak vegetables into my kids' diets. And
Yes,
so, like, I've done like cauliflower rice and I've sauteed it up in a pan a little bit and added some seasonings. And you can't tell the difference. We've done rice bowls. My kids know no difference.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spinach, I mean, I do this a lot I used to do kids cooking classes all the time. Spinach is an easy one, easy thing to throw into smoothies, scramble in eggs. It's there, but they're not going to know, or you won't know that it's there. So
Yeah.
hiding them is just fine. Just consume it.
Yes. Okay, let's see here. We have my symptoms make it hard to cook. I am not comfortable using knives and sometimes the stove. What can I do?
Yeah. Hopefully you kind of took notice some of those microwavable options that I showed you, those Uncle Ben packages where you just tear and you place in the microwave for 90 seconds. Then you've got warm rice that you can add. Take advantage of the canned, whether it's tuna, the rotisserie chicken that you can find already shredded for you. That can be really helpful. Peanut butter is a really good source of, that healthy fat and protein. So, pairing that and mixing in with your oatmeal, again, another easy microwavable breakfast that you can do. Toaster ovens, toasting a couple slices of bread. So I totally understand the stove and not kind of wanting to deal with all that, but kind of think about how you can use your microwave or some of those kind of already prepared items at grocery stores and kind of make a meal balanced at home yourself.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see. You suggested a lot of packaged food options, which I suspect are processed. Isn't it better to have fresh veggies, or does that matter as much?
Well, and hopefully you'll notice that like the steamable vegetables, I mean, yes, you can get the ones that have the sauces and the seasonings, but a lot of them, it's just the frozen cauliflower and broccoli that they just blast in the freezer bag. So just as nutritious. So you can pop that into the microwave and steam them. Again, the rice, that chickpea pasta I showed just contained the chickpea flour. So yes, a lot of the products maybe were packaged, But then and I could show you a whole other slew of products where, you've really got to put recipes together, but people aren't spending a lot of time in the kitchen anymore. So it's really just finding maybe a packaged item with minimal ingredients. So for instance, the oatmeal too, it had 4 ingredients in that entire box of oatmeal, but it was a very easy thing to whip together. So there are packaged items that you can find that are going to be more whole.
Okay, good to know. Okay, we have a tip here real quick. I never really liked water, but I love lime in seltzer water, and now I drink it all day. It's a great tip that worked for them.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I feel like a lot of people are probably wondering this question. Any healthy mac and cheese recipes? And they put hashtag asking for a friend.
Actually, this is funny that you say that. So what we've recently discovered or kind of what we've been doing is taking a hamburger helper box and dumping out the noodles, but replacing it with whole grain noodles. So, or I've done chickpea noodles too, because I just love the differences. Just different type of nutrition coming from different type of noodles. So, whether it's, kind of just creating your own mac and cheese by using whole grain noodles, adding a little bit of milk and then real cheese versus the Velveeta stuff, that can make it significantly healthier.
Okay, good to know. Okay. It's just me and my husband in the house, and neither of us eat much. It's hard to find recipes for just 2 people. Any good sources to find recipes?
Reach out to me. I've got tons. So send me an email. I'd be happy to share. Another good source to a Google search with chicken recipes that serve 2. I mean, you can make it as specific as possible and hundreds will come up. I don't know if you get on Pinterest. I'm a picture person. So same thing. I'll type in my exact, what I'm kind of craving, and I'll say, a chicken recipe for 2, and pictures will pop up and I'm like, oh gosh, that looks good. And then you can click that link. So that's another way, but reach out if you want some tried and true recipes that I have done.
Perfect. Okay. Are there any certain fruits or vegetables that are better to concentrate on than others?
I just always talk about variety. I feel like we go to the grocery store and we stay in that same rut. Maybe we're buying apples, bananas every single week. So that's where the ad can really help you. Oh, grapes are on sale this week. I haven't had a grape in weeks. Let's do that. So different produce is just going to give you different types of vitamins and minerals. So you might as well just keep switching them out, but no one food is going to be the best. I just think variety is going to be kind of your main goal there.
Okay, so there's really no fruits or vegetables to steer clear from.
No.
Okay, good to know. Okay, well, that is about all we have, and we are so thankful you could join us today. I know that your session was so sought after, so thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, have a good day.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.